Aaron grew up in a small town outside Dallas, Texas, a quiet place where people knew each other by name, and your reputation meant everything. His father worked construction, his mother was a teacher. They didn't have much, but they had pride. And they raised Aaron to believe that hard work and kindness would always speak louder than words. But in a world where everyone seemed to be shouting for attention, Aaron's quiet nature made him feel invisible. He wasn't the loudest, the flashiest, or the most confident. And yet, deep down, he carried a fire, a desire to prove himself. That desire grew with him. In college, he studied business, worked double shifts, and dreamed of someday running his own company. But more than success, Aaron wanted recognition. He wanted people to say, "That's the guy who made it." By 30, Aaron had moved to Atlanta and was working at a large tech startup. It was fast-paced, competitive, the kind of environment where people wore confidence like armor. Meetings were more about showing off than solving problems. Whoever spoke the loudest got noticed and rewarded. At first, Aaron tried to blend in, but soon he realized quiet work rarely gets praise. So, he started playing the game. Late-night posts about grind culture, flashy suits, renting cars for client photos, all to make it look like he was thriving. His social media was perfect, his reality was not. Inside, Aaron felt empty. He was making money, yes, but he was spending more just to look successful. He wasn't living for himself anymore. He was living for approval from people who barely knew his name. One Friday afternoon, the CEO announced that one of their biggest clients wanted a new strategy proposal. The entire company buzzed with excitement. It was a chance to shine. Aaron saw this as his moment to finally prove he was worth something more than likes and comments. He worked all weekend, barely slept. He designed the presentation himself. Bold graphics, clever lines, the perfect pitch. But when Monday came, something unexpected happened. Right before the meeting, a junior employee named Lena, who had quietly been researching the same project, showed her idea to the CEO first. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't designed to impress, but it worked. The CEO loved her concept, simple, clear, genuine. He scrapped everyone else's ideas, including Aaron's, and said, "This is what real thinking looks like, not noise, not decoration." For the first time in years, Aaron felt small. He sat in silence while others congratulated her. He realized he had been chasing attention, not excellence. That night, Aaron didn't open his laptop. He sat on his balcony, watching the city lights blink like stars trapped in glass. He whispered, "Maybe I've been running the wrong race." Because success wasn't meant to be a performance. It was supposed to be personal, something you build quietly, not something you post loudly. Over the next few months, Aaron stopped showing off. He stopped pretending. He started focusing on what mattered, learning, improving, and helping others without expecting applause. He became invisible, and for the first time, that felt okay. While everyone else was busy talking, Aaron was building, not for recognition, but for mastery. He learned that real growth doesn't need to be broadcast. Because when you work in silence, your results make the noise for you. 2 years later, the company hit a rough patch. Clients left, sales dropped, and morale hit rock bottom. Many of the loudest employees, the ones who had always boasted, started jumping ship. But Aaron stayed. He saw opportunity in the chaos. He stepped up, not to show off, but to serve. He trained new staff, fixed broken systems, and rebuilt relationships quietly, one call at a time. And slowly, the company began to recover. One morning, the CEO called him in. Aaron expected another task, but instead he was handed a letter. "You've been promoted to head of operations," the CEO said. "You never asked for attention, you just earned respect." Aaron blinked, stunned. No crowd, no applause, just quiet recognition that came from honest work. He realized something powerful that day. You don't need to announce your greatness. The world will notice when it's time. After that promotion, something inside Aaron changed forever. He didn't feel the need to show the world what he had achieved. He didn't post about his raise. He didn't buy a new car to prove his success. Instead, he went home, hugged his parents over FaceTime, and said simply, "It's working out, Mom, I'm doing okay." For the first time, those words felt enough. He realized life becomes lighter when you stop performing for people who don't matter. When you stop chasing recognition, you finally find peace. Aaron began mentoring younger employees, the quiet ones who often got ignored in meetings. He saw himself in them, talented, humble, but hidden behind louder voices. And he'd tell them, "You don't have to speak the loudest, you just have to work the smartest. Noise fades, results last." His words started spreading, not as viral quotes online, but as real-life lessons whispered between co-workers who began finding strength in silence. One evening, at a networking event, an old colleague approached Aaron, the same guy who once mocked his quiet nature. He asked, half joking, "Man, how'd you even survive in this company without self-promotion? You barely post anymore." Aaron smiled. "Because I stopped living for others. I don't need to prove anything. I'm just trying to become a better man than I was yesterday." The colleague laughed, but deep down, he admired him. Because there was something rare about that kind of confidence, the kind that didn't need applause. In today's world, humility looks like weakness. But it's not. It's quiet strength. It's the peace of knowing who you are when no one's watching. Years later, Aaron found himself invited to speak at a leadership conference in New York. He wasn't famous, he wasn't trending, but someone had seen his consistent results and wanted to hear his thoughts on leadership. As he stood backstage, he thought of how far he'd come, from the boy who wanted everyone's approval to the man who no longer needed it. He stepped onto the stage, took a breath, and said, "We live in a world that rewards noise, but noise isn't success. Real success is built in silence. It's built when you're tired, when no one claps, when no one's watching. I used to live for likes and validation, but the day I stopped trying to impress others, I started to grow." You don't have to show off to prove your worth. Let your character be your message. Let your work speak for you. The ones chasing attention may get it first, but the ones chasing purpose, they last. The crowd fell silent. Not because it was a flashy speech, but because every word carried truth. After the conference, Aaron walked outside into the cool New York air. The city buzzed with lights and noise, but for him, it was quiet inside. That night, as he looked at the skyline, he realized that success isn't a destination, it's a discipline. It's not about what you show, it's about what you build when no one's paying attention. Quiet success is not about being unseen. It's about being unshaken. It's not about silence because you're afraid. It's about silence because you're secure. He remembered something his father once said when he was a kid helping on a construction site. "Son, strong buildings don't make noise while they're being built, only when they collapse." He smiled. That's when it truly clicked. His entire life had been about proving, performing, and pretending, until he learned the power of building quietly. Maybe you're listening to this right now and you feel like no one notices your effort. You show up every day, work hard, stay honest, and yet others seem to get ahead by talking louder or faking confidence. You wonder, does it even matter? It does, because quiet consistency always beats loud insecurity. People who are truly focused on greatness don't need to advertise it, they live it. Remember this. You are not behind just because you're not being seen. You are ahead because you are being built. Every quiet morning, every lonely grind, every time you choose humility over hype, it's adding to your foundation. So when the storms come, you'll still be standing. When others fade with the trend, you'll remain timeless. Start trying to impress people who don't clap for you. Start trying to prove your worth to those who can't even see your value. Your journey isn't meant to be public, it's meant to be purposeful. Take a deep breath right now. Think about everything you've been doing lately. The effort, the sacrifice, the patience. You may not be where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're lost. You're becoming. And becoming takes time. It takes courage to work in silence while others broadcast their highlight reels. It takes discipline to stay focused when no one's cheering you on. But one day, your results will speak. They'll speak so loud that the same people who doubted you will say, "I always believed in you." And you'll smile. Not out of pride, but peace. because you'll know you never needed their belief to begin with. Aaron Blake's story is a reminder. Stop living for others. Stop letting the crowd dictate your value. Stop measuring your worth by how loud your success sounds. Live quietly, work consistently, move intentionally. Because one day, when the noise fades, the truth of your effort will remain. Quiet success doesn't need a stage, it just needs purpose. And when your purpose becomes stronger than your need for attention, that's when life starts feeling light. That's when peace replaces pressure. That's when you finally understand what true success really is. So wherever you are right now, maybe you're building a business, healing from failure, or chasing a dream. Remember this, you don't have to show it. You just have to live it. Because one day, the same people who couldn't see your value will look at what you've built and say, "How did you do it?" And you'll answer, "I stopped trying to prove myself and started becoming myself." That's the art of quiet success. That's what happens when you stop living for others. My friend, if this message touched your heart today, if it reminded you to keep going, to keep building, to keep believing, then let this be your reminder. You don't need to show off to be valuable. You just need to stay true to your purpose. Keep working in silence. Keep growing in private. And trust that your results will echo louder than any applause. Thank you for listening. And before you go, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.